Listen to how peaceful that is. Unlike the Sonic 3D Blast intro. Sega! Alright. So as we left off in, Marble Zone. Alright. Let's continue. I don't know. Can't really say I'm in love with this, let's go ahead and roll. Can't say I'm in love with this, zone. I always found the music to be a bit trippy, though. Yeah. It started off with like an awkward sort of tone, then it goes into like a nice, childish theme. I guess I'll try to take the top path if I can, okay, or not. Yeah, this guy here, he's also a reason why I didn't really like, this zone. He just, like, randomly appears. I don't know, there's a lot of waiting in this zone, too, as well. You have to wait for these spikes, wait for platforms. By all means, I'm not saying that Sonic was meant to, you know, just go fast. You know, Sonic Rush Syndrome, or Sonic Unleashed Syndrome during the day. But it definitely is a bit misleading, you know. It's supposed to be the fastest thing alive. And yet, there's a lot of different zones of which you're doing nothing but just waiting. And, oh wow, that was actually collision, fell. I'm not sure if you guys saw that or not. His legs are actually still touching the edge of the, God, I'm not even gonna explain it, because, like, those of you who watch my, Game Maker Let's Plays, you know what I'm talking about. Those who don't will probably just, you know, argue with me. So, there's that. So yeah, this zone is pretty cool though, I can't really complain. And I gotta say, this emulator is actually pretty cool too. Really interesting, it actually has like a few features that you wouldn't be able to get through a regular Genesis, such as, different, sound qualities. You can, like, channel your different, because most of us know how the sound chips actually worked on these older games. They ran through like a multiple series of sound channels. Not quite exactly sure how many sound channels were in the Genesis sound chip, but they would run simultaneously, thus making music almost you know, quite similar to how an actual orchestra. Wow, okay, seriously failing. Quite similar to how an actual orchestra would work, which is very interesting for its time. Of course, now all you hear is, you know, CD quality music now, but it's perfectly fine. Hence Sonic CD. So, yeah, for the most part, okay. We had sprite frame fell. He must have, like, touched the ground right as he came in contact with the object instance. Yes, I will use Game Maker terms all the time in these other LPs, just to... yeah, I'm just kidding, that was, that was clearly my fault, that wasn't the game at all. But, anyway, for the most part, though, this, the sound chip itself is quite decent. Had a lot of quality in which it tried to mimic a lot of like guitar sounds in most of its games. As you can clearly hear in, I think, what is it, the Super Hang-On games, you can actually hear the... Wow, two of them? Huh. Quick, get him! He's... Oh, God. Basically, you can definitely hear the quality of the Super Hang-On I think in one of the songs you actually hear like a guitar solo. If you can actually like make out the sound, it's supposed to be a guitar solo. So, you know, the actual sound is quite formidable in many ways. With Super Nintendo, but I believe if you look at the actual system stats, you can actually deem, I think Super Nintendo actually had better everything in comparison, except for the processing. Hence the infamous, you know, yeah, blast processing. That Sega basically conned on everyone. Yeah, I can't quite say that I agree with that term, blast processing. There's been many times where where the game really cannot keep up with your actions. Sometimes it's really a shame. But I'm a fan of both Nintendo and Sega. There's not really schism between the two, really, because I grew up on both of them, so can't say that I like one more than the other. But yeah, the point that I was actually going with this, though, the emulator can actually, like, you can actually choose like different sound qualities, different sound settings. You can like filter out certain frequencies of sound, certain channels. You can actually filter out like certain video outputs. And I actually realized, wait, hold on, I could have sworn there was like a passage. I could have sworn that there was some sort of filter that allowed you to obtain HD video output on an emulator. And what I've noticed is what I was running it through. I was running it through some sort of filter that was somewhat blurring the appearance of the game slightly. You can actually see each pixel for what it is, which is a bit disappointing. So I actually turned that off. So if you actually notice back in the part 1 and part 2 versus part 3, this current vid, you can actually kind of notice a little bit of change. I'm not sure if you can notice through the frame rate or not of YouTube and what, and the goodies of, oh my god. And of course, parts like this of Spring Yard Zone, not to say that they're hard, but they're certainly annoying for the for a player who's either one, haven't played this in a while, or two, is just completely new to the concept of Sonic the Hedgehog, and you're sort of, you know, working your way through it. And, you know, slopes can either be your best friend or your greatest enemy in this game. But, for the most part, though, the props and backdrops are actually pretty cool. Some of them, I'm not quite sure what they are. Like, this right here, not quite sure if that's like a lamp of some kind or an alarm. Not quite sure what some of this is. Like, I imagine, okay, yeah, I'd imagine that getting through some of this would be quite a hassle for real people. I'm pretty sure this still takes place on Mobius. I'm quite sure. I could be wrong, but this takes place on Mobius. Am I correct? And there's buildings. And the only human in the only human that we should be seeing in on Mobius is Dr. Eggman. If I have my Sonic facts correct. But I'm not here to talk about Sonic's background. Okay, he skipped me. It's weird. And I should be hitting him multiple times. Okay. So, got a fun fact. The yellow thing that you actually see on his jacket, that's actually his cape. You don't really see his cape though, surprisingly, in many of the games. I think the only game that you actually flat out see his cape is the end of Sonic CD, where he's like flying away and Sonic's like, "Yeah, kick your ass." And those of you who've played know what I'm talking about. But, alright, Labyrinth Zone. This one's actually pretty cool. I'm actually going to do both of these in one sitting, so I guess my next video will be like right after this one, so just go ahead and like click the next tab that is supplied in said video, unless you have the annotations turned off. Then, in which case, that would be a folly. So, I'll see you guys in the next vid. Unless you stop watching me forever, then it's a different story. So, see you guys.